The two topics we selected for the discussion of the best invention of the 21st century are Wi-Fi and online streaming. This presentation was put together by Nicholas Hale.
Hunter McCormack.
Paul Ollie.
Ryan Francis.
And Zachary Barton.
Wireless internet, more commonly known as Wi-Fi, has changed the game for people who use electronics such as laptops, smartphones, and tablets on the go. With the increased speed of wireless internet, more and more people are relying on Wi-Fi, especially in times like these when lots of work and schooling has been moved towards virtual. Without Wi-Fi, online learning would be very difficult to do, especially in situations where multiple users would be trying to use the same wired internet at the same time. Using radio waves, the transmitter sends a coded message through the air to a receiver, giving the receiver a signal, allowing it to function without having to be wired to a router. This is why Wi-Fi greatly increases the convenience of using the internet each and every day. Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus are all great examples of the future of online streaming. These streaming sites allow for people to pay for a subscription either monthly or annually for a cheaper rate than much of the available cable subscriptions are priced at. Brands like these are the up-and-coming products that allow for people to stream movies or shows on the go. These products allow for users who don't want to waste money on getting over 1,000 channels, when in reality, they only watch about 10% of those. With a subscription to a streaming service such as Netflix, you are given a large selection of movies and TV series, along with Netflix originals, which are filmed and produced by Netflix and available exclusively on Netflix.
Wi-Fi was developed in the mid-1990s and became widespread in the early 2000s. The Wi-Fi we all know and love is actually a sort of hodgepodge of many different patents from various inventors and corporations. But the individual often accredited with inventing Wi-Fi is an Australian radio astronomer named John O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan led a team at a company called CSIRO, CSIRO, that in 1996 patented a technique of reducing interferences of radio signals transmitted by computer networks. This patent was the perfect foundation, and the rest is history. As Wi-Fi became more accessible, people experimented with new ways to connect with one another, and in no time at all, online streaming services began to emerge. One of the first was a little company called YouTube. The entire objective of YouTube was to create a platform in which people could record videos, upload them, and allow others to stream them. However, in recent times, companies like Netflix, Hulu, and others have replaced personal video streaming with television and movie streaming, allowing users to watch whatever show or movie they want at the touch of a button.
Wi-Fi allows work to be done throughout a home or building, enabling the user to be more flexible. It also provides internet connectivity to multiple users at once through a single access point, which is advantageous both in the home and in the workplace. Equipping a business building with Wi-Fi also carries a lower startup cost versus running hard lines to any and all workstations that will be needing internet access. Streaming can be done on most mobile devices, allowing the user to stay up to date or entertained from almost anywhere. Depending on what content is being accessed, online streaming services can average around $10 to $15 a month, while some content can even be streamed completely for free. Online streaming is a form of media that's easily accessible for almost everyone. This ease of accessibility is a benefit not only for viewers, but also for content creators and entertainers. Whether or not a business has Wi-Fi has been added to the list of criteria that customers use when choosing where they'll spend their time. However, allowing public access to a Wi-Fi network means that everyone has access to this public network. Without taking proper safety precautions, the user may unknowingly put themselves at risk of having personal data such as passwords and banking information stolen and misused. An unforeseen consequence of streaming has been the decline in cable and satellite TV subscriptions. As the number of active streaming service subscriptions increases, the number of active pay TV subscriptions decreases. A positive consequence, on the other hand, is ease of access to movies, music, and other content. This allows upcoming artists to have their work viewed without nearly as much promotion as before.
Wireless internet has been a great invention to the world, but has caused the need for face-to-face interaction to decrease. Nowadays, it's unnecessary to physically go to a friend's house to see if they want to hang out, because you can simply text or make a phone call and get your question answered at a much faster rate. This has greatly increased the speed at which communication can happen, but lowered the need for face-to-face interactions.
Online streaming also has a similar impact on society. With Netflix and Hulu being available, the need to visit a movie theater with friends or family have greatly decreased, since these movies will later be available on these services in months, where people also have a large selection of movies and TV shows they can watch at a lower cost from home.
Wi-Fi is used all over the world in nearly every single country. According to Figure 3, in 2015, 82.1% of European households use Wi-Fi, compared to only 10.7% of African households. The more developed a country is, the more likely they have reliable wireless internet. As of 2018, it's estimated that over 250 million households have a subscription to Netflix, which is estimated to be 37% of all internet users worldwide. As online streaming services continue to build a larger library of shows and films, the decrease in cable usage continues to climb. With the much lower price subscription for these streaming services, it is becoming more and more common for households to get rid of cable as a whole.
While Wi-Fi is available in most countries, many countries do not have access to high-speed internet. In fact, as of today, about 40% of the people on Earth, about 3.5 billion, do not have good internet access. While some groups work to make the internet more accessible, other groups work to improve the efficiency and the speeds. In 2007, the average internet speed in the United States was around 4 megabits per second, and today it's about 34 megabits per second, almost a tenfold increase in just a decade. So it's safe to say Wi-Fi has plenty of room to grow. As internet access expands across the globe, the amount of people using online streaming services will increase too. The main room for growth for online streaming is content-based. While online streaming services have vast amounts of shows and movies, they don't have them all. The ultimate goal of streaming services would be to compile a catalog that contains all movies and all television shows that have been released.
Based on these criteria, we concluded that Wi-Fi is the greatest invention of the 21st century. Its use of radio waves made accessing the internet more convenient, thus significantly increasing the scale of use. Over the years, common technologies that have limited or no access to the internet were now being manufactured with Wi-Fi capabilities included, such as PC, laptops, tablets, and cell phones, which greatly influenced the functionality of the workplace, home, and businesses in general. Furthermore, the simplicity and convenience that Wi-Fi brings to social interaction, shopping, and entertainment gave rise to major social media platforms, online retailers and marketplaces, and online streaming services, and much more that are widely used in many aspects of our society today. Although the use of Wi-Fi can be found in the world's most successful country, there's still much room for growth as it can become faster and stronger and can be made more available in many more countries that cannot access the internet. And with that, that concludes our presentation, and thank you for listening.